Imagine this. You're sitting alone in a cramped prison cell. The cold concrete walls closing in, the dim light flickering overhead. The air is thick with the smell of stale sweat, dampness, and regret. Outside, the world moves on without you. But in here, time feels like a slow, merciless punishment. For 12 years, that was Lisa's reality. 12 years locked behind bars for a crime she didn't commit. A crime she took to fall for protect a man she loved. A man who promised forever, but shattered her world instead. When Lisa finally stepped out, blinking into the harsh sunlight, she thought she could rebuild her life, start fresh. But nothing could prepare her for the betrayal waiting just beyond the prison gates. Her name was Lisa Turner. At 24, she was a waitress in a small town in Georgia, known for her infectious laugh and warm heart. She had dreams, simple ones, a home to call her own, a family she could trust. And she had Tom. Tom Wilson was charming, the kind of man who made you believe in love at first sight. With his easy smile and steady hands, he swept Lisa off her feet in a whirlwind romance. They talked about marriage, kids, a future together. She believed him with every fiber of her being. But life doesn't always follow the script you write in your heart. One cold November night, Lisa found herself in a nightmare. The police knocked on her door with a warrant. They found cocaine in her car, a small amount, but enough to ruin her life. The evidence was stacked against her, but Lisa knew the truth. It wasn't hers. She hadn't touched that drug, let alone sold it. She'd been set up, but why? And by whom? Tom was nowhere to be found. When she called, his number went straight to voicemail. When she asked for help, he was silent. At her trial, the prosecution painted her as a dealer, a danger to the community. Her defense was shaky, but her lawyer hinted that the real target was someone else, someone untouchable. Lisa was a scapegoat, a pawn in a much darker game. She was sentenced to 12 years. In the cold, lonely months that followed, Lisa clung to the memory of Tom, the man she loved and trusted. Letters she sent went unanswered. Visits dwindled until they stopped altogether. And then, whispers started, rumors among the inmates, hushed conversations about Tom's new life. At first, Lisa refused to believe it. How could he betray her? Marry her sister Sarah, the sister she confided in, cried to, trusted with her darkest secrets. The sister who was supposed to stand by her side, not walk down the aisle with the man who destroyed her. Inside those prison walls, Lisa's world crumbled piece by piece. The pain was unbearable. The betrayal, deep and raw. But she survived. She survived by holding on to one thing, the truth that would one day set her free. 12 years later, the doors finally opened. Lisa stepped out into a world that had changed, but some wounds had only deepened. She had $500 in her pocket, a bag of clothes, and a heart heavy with questions. Where was Tom? How could he have done this to her? And most haunting of all, what Sarah whispered to him to convince him to marry her. Lisa's first stop was her old neighborhood. The streets were the same, yet the faces were unfamiliar. She found Sarah's house on a quiet cul-de-sac, a modest brick home with freshly painted white shutters. The garden was blooming, the porch light welcoming. Lisa stood there, her breath caught in her throat. She rang the doorbell. A woman answered. Not Sarah, a stranger. Lisa's heart pounded. Where was her sister? She showed the woman a picture. Sarah, smiling at her wedding, standing next to Tom. The woman's face tightened. She moved, she said softly. Left town last month. Left town? Without telling anyone? Lisa's mind raced. Had Sarah been running from something? From Tom? Or from Lisa? Determined. Lisa went to the local bar where Tom used to hang out. A grizzled bartender recognized her immediately. You're Lisa, right? Heard about your story. Tough break. Lisa nodded. Tom? He's different now. Quiet. Doesn't talk much about the past. Married Sarah. Yeah, got a kid too, I think. Her chest tightened. A kid? With Sarah? The bartender shook his head. But there's more. Word is, Tom's not the man you thought he was. Lisa's fingers trembled. What do you mean? She asked. He leaned in, lowering his voice. People say he's involved in some shady stuff, money laundering, maybe worse. And Sarah? She's not just a wife. She's got secrets, things people don't talk about. Lisa's mind spun. Was the betrayal deeper than she ever imagined? That night, back at her rented room, Lisa stared at her reflection in the cracked mirror. 12 years lost. A sister who disappeared. A man who lied. But Lisa wasn't done. Not yet. She opened her laptop and typed 3 words into the search bar. Tom Wilson, Georgia. What she found next made her blood run cold. A mugshot, not Tom's, but Sarah's, charged with fraud, identity theft, and an unsolved missing persons case. Lisa's hands shook. The screen blurred. Had Sarah's story been a lie? Had the betrayal been a cover-up for something far darker? Lisa leaned back, breath shallow. Her phone buzzed. An unknown number. A text message popped up. "Stop digging, Lisa. Some truths are better buried." Her heart raced. Was it a threat, a warning, or an invitation? Lisa's fingers hovered over the keyboard. What would she do next? Because one thing was clear. The past was not done with her, and the truth was waiting, just beneath the surface, ready to be uncovered. Lisa stared at the message again. "Stop digging, Lisa. Some truths are better buried." Her pulse quickened, but a fire sparked inside her. She wasn't about to back down now. After all, she had spent 12 years fighting for justice. What was a few threats compared to that? She locked her phone and grabbed a pen and notebook. If Sarah was tangled in something dark, something bigger than betrayal, Lisa was going to find out, piece by piece, no matter the cost. The first place on her list was the police station. She needed official records, arrest reports, court documents, anything tied to Sarah's recent charges. The clerk looked at her skeptically when she asked for files. "Your family?" he asked. "Just someone trying to understand the truth," Lisa said carefully. He sighed and pulled out a thick folder. Inside were pages of damning evidence. Forged documents, stolen identities, and a strained connection to a missing woman named Marissa Reed. Lisa's brow furrowed. Marissa Reed, that name rang a bell. She flipped through more pages. Witness statements, surveillance photos, phone records. Sarah's number had been linked to Marissa's last known location, a rundown motel outside Atlanta. But Marissa had disappeared without a trace almost a year ago. Suddenly, this wasn't just a story about love and betrayal anymore. This was something darker. Lisa took a deep breath and called her old friend Marcus, a private investigator she'd met through the prison outreach program. If anyone could help her navigate this tangled mess, it was him. Marcus agreed to meet at a quiet cafe on the outskirts of town. When Lisa arrived, he was already waiting, flipping to the folder she had handed him. "Sarah's in deep," Marcus said, his voice low. "Fraud, identity theft, and now a missing person? That's not small time. Someone's covering tracks. Do you think Tom's involved?" Marcus shrugged. "If he is, he's keeping a low profile. But his marriage to Sarah? It's a front. Something bigger is going on. Maybe drug trafficking, money laundering, or worse." Lisa's stomach churned. "How'd we find out?" Marcus slid a USB drive across the table. "I hacked into some of Sarah's financials. There's a shell company registered under her name, but the money's moving to accounts in Panama, the Cayman Islands, places notorious for hiding dirty cash." Lisa swallowed hard. The woman who married her sister wasn't just a traitor. She was a player in a dangerous game. "Where do we start?" Marcus leaned in. "We go to the motel. See if we can find anything Marissa Reed left behind." The next morning, Lisa and Marcus drove through winding back roads until they reached the dilapidated motel. It looked abandoned, but Lisa's gut told her it held secrets. They broke in carefully, flashlights cutting through the darkness. The room they searched was small, with peeling wallpaper and a cracked mirror. Lisa's eyes caught a glimpse of something taped under the bedside table. A worn-out journal. She flipped it open. Pages filled with frantic handwriting spilled out. Entries by Marissa Reed, describing threats, fear, and someone watching her every move. Then a name stood out. Sarah Wilson. It read, "She's not who she seems. I think she's involved in everything. The lies, the disappearances." Lisa's hands trembled. Marcus snapped photos and bagged the journal as evidence. As they left, a shadow moved behind the broken blinds. Lisa stopped dead in her tracks. "Did you see that?" she whispered. Marcus nodded. "We're not alone." Back in town, Lisa's phone buzzed again. Another message, this time with a photo attached. It showed her car, parked outside the motel. Underneath, a single line. "We're watching, Lisa. Stop before it's too late." Her breath caught. Someone wanted her silent. But Lisa wasn't done. That night, as she pieced together the journal's clues, her laptop pinged, an email from an unknown sender. Inside was a video. Grainy, shaky footage of Sarah and Tom arguing heatedly in a dimly lit room. Sarah's voice was sharp, cutting. "You promised me the money, Tom. I'm tired of waiting." Tom looked desperate, voice low. "I'm doing everything I can, but this is bigger than you think." Suddenly, a third voice whispered from the shadows. A woman's voice. "You're both fools if you think you can control this." The video ended abruptly. Lisa sat frozen. Who was the third person? And what was this? The thing bigger than money, bigger than lies. She had come for answers. But now, she was tangled in a web with no clear way out. The past had followed her home. And the truth was more dangerous than she ever imagined. Lisa's hand shook as she watched the video again, the woman's voice echoing in her mind. "You're both fools if you think you can control this." Who was she? And what was this hidden threat Tom and Sarah were entangled in? Her phone buzzed. Another message. This time, just one word. Meet. No time, no place. But the urgency was clear. Lisa debated. Was it a trap? Or her only chance to uncover the truth? She agreed. The meeting spot, an old warehouse by the docks, just before midnight. When Lisa arrived, the air was thick with fog and the distant hum of cargo ships. Her heart pounded. She slipped inside, footsteps echoing on concrete. A figure stepped from the shadows. A woman, face partially hidden beneath a hood. "Lisa," the woman said, voice low but steady. "You don't know what you're dealing with." "Who are you?" Lisa demanded. The woman pulled back the hood. It was Marissa Reed, alive. Lisa gasped. "Why didn't you come forward?" she asked. Marissa's eyes were haunted. "Because I was running from Sarah and worse." She pulled out a folder, handing Lisa a stack of photos. Pictures of Sarah and Tom meeting with shadowy figures, exchanging briefcases, shaking hands in dark alleys. "Sarah's not just a player," Marissa whispered. "She's part of a network, a syndicate trafficking secrets, people, and power. And Tom, he's deep in it." Lisa's mind reeled. "So why marry my sister?" she asked. Marissa's lips trembled. To keep her quiet, to cover their tracks. "But Sarah's been slipping, making mistakes. That's why you've been warned. Because you're close." Suddenly, footsteps. More figures emerged, men with cold eyes and hard faces. Lisa's breath hitched. "We don't want to hurt you," one said, voice cold as steel. "But you should leave. Now." Lisa and Marissa exchanged a look. Two women trapped between truth and danger. Before Lisa could react, a sharp crack split the air. A bullet tore through the space where she had stood a second before. Marissa screamed. Lisa dove behind a crate, heart hammering. The warehouse erupted in chaos. Shots fired, voices shouting. Lisa's mind raced, run or fight. She grabbed Marissa's hand. "We need out." They scrambled toward a side exit. But outside, a black SUV blocked the way. The door slid open, revealing Sarah, cold smile playing on her lips. Well, Lisa, you're persistent." Lisa's throat went dry. Why? Why betray your own family?" Sarah stepped closer, voice icy. "Because in this game, loyalty is a luxury, and you're a liability." Marissa whispered. "She's been planning this for years." Lisa backed up slowly. "Maybe it's time to disappear." The SUV's door slammed shut. Engines roared. The world spun. Lisa's last thought before darkness swallowed her was, how deep does this go? Sarah sat beside the driver, eyes flickering between the road and the captives. "You really thought it'd be that easy," she hissed. "This isn't just family drama. This is survival. Lisa fought to focus, trying to piece together what she knew. The syndicate, the betrayal, the lies. But everything felt like a maze with no exit. Suddenly, the SUV slowed, pulling into an abandoned compound surrounded by high walls and razor wire. The doors opened, and two burly men dragged Lisa and Marissa out. Inside, harsh fluorescent lights revealed a room lined with screens, live feeds of city streets, offices, even their own houses. A figure stepped from the shadows, a tall man with a cold smile, eyes sharp and calculating. "Welcome, Lisa," he said smoothly. "I'm Victor Kane. You've stirred quite the storm." Lisa's pulse quickened. This was a puppeteer, the real power behind Sarah and Tom's web. Victor paced slowly. "You see, your sister's marriage to Tom was more than a cover. It was a linchpin in a plan decades in the making. Political favors, blackmail, secrets traded like currency." Marissa coughed. "You'll never get away with this." Victor's smile widened. "Oh, but I already have. And you," he said, pointing at Lisa, "are the last piece." Lisa's mind screamed to escape, but her body was chained. Victor leaned in close. "Tell me, Lisa, what would you sacrifice for the truth? Your freedom? Your family? Your life?" The room's door slammed open. Gunshots echoed. Chaos erupted. The chains holding Lisa clicked loose. A masked figure appeared, firing wildly. "Run!" the figure shouted. Lisa didn't hesitate. She and Marissa bolted through corridors filled with shouts and gunfire. They burst into a stairwell, but the way down was blocked. A dead end. Lisa turned, heart in throat. The masked figure was cornered. "Go!" the figure urged. "Find help? Stop Victor." Before Lisa could react, a sharp blow sent her crashing against the wall. Darkness claimed her again. Lisa woke to the harsh glare of a single bulb swinging overhead. Her wrists were raw, but the chains were gone. Her head throbbed, memory flickering like a broken film reel. Marissa was nowhere in sight. A faint tapping echoed through the thick concrete walls. Lisa squinted toward the shadow corner. A figure emerged, stepping into the light. It was a masked stranger from the chaos, now without disguise. A woman. Her eyes were fierce, haunted, but there was something familiar in her gaze. "I'm Ava," she said softly. "I'm here to fix what went wrong." Lisa tried to speak, but her throat was dry. Ava knelt beside her. "You're in the safe house now. We've got some time, but not much." Lisa's mind raced. Ava knew too much. Too much to be a coincidence. "What is this?" Lisa finally croaked. "Who are you?" Ava's lips tightened. "You don't remember, do you?" Images flashed. A childhood photo, a hidden locket, a secret handshake. "You and I, our families were tied long before all this mess. I'm the reason you're alive, and the reason this nightmare started." Lisa's heart skipped a beat. Victor Kane isn't just a criminal. He's a ghost from our past. A betrayal so deep it fractured everything. Suddenly, the door slammed open. Victor's voice boomed through the room speakers. "Hello, ladies. Let's play a game." Lisa's stomach dropped. The lights flickered, then died. Silence. A single click. The unmistakable hiss of gas filling the air. Lisa's vision blurred. She reached for Ava's hand, but found only empty air. And then, darkness. Lisa's lungs burned as the gas thickened around her. Panic clawed at her chest, but she forced herself to breathe slow, steady, to hold on. Ava's hand wasn't there. She was alone. In the pitch-black room, every breath felt like fire. Then, a faint mechanical click. A small panel slid open near the floor, releasing a rush of fresh air. Lisa crawled toward it, desperate, heart pounding. Her fingers brushed something cold, a thin metal rod. She grabbed it, using it to pry the panel wider. Just as she pushed it open enough to squeeze through, the heavy door rattled, slammed shut behind her. Freedom was one step away, but the hallway beyond was no sanctuary. Fluorescent lights flickered erratically, casting long shadows across cracked walls. A low murmur echoed, whispers too soft to understand. Suddenly, a voice sliced through the darkness. "Looking for me?" Lisa froze. From the shadows stepped a figure, tall, draped in a dark coat, face obscured by a hood. "Victor," she breathed. The figure smiled, but there was no warmth. "You thought you could run. You thought the past was buried." He took a slow step forward. "But some debts don't die with time, and some secrets are worth killing for." Lisa backed away, clutching the metal rod like a lifeline. Behind her, the faintest creak, the sound of heavy footsteps approaching fast. Victor's grin widened. "Now, let's see how far you can really run." Victor's footsteps echoed like thunder in the narrow corridor. Lisa's grip tightened around the metal rod, every nerve screaming to fight or flee. She scanned the flickering lights. No sign of escape. "Why are you doing this?" she demanded, voice trembling but fierce. "What do you want from me?" Victor chuckled, the sound cold and hollow. "You think this is about you?" "No, Lisa. It's about what you know. About what your sister and I have been hiding for years." Lisa's mind raced. Secrets she never imagined, buried beneath layers of lies and silence. A sharp metallic clang rang out behind her. She spun around. Ava stood there, bruised but alive, eyes blazing. "I'm not letting you do this alone," Ava said, stepping beside her sister. Victor's smile faded. So predictable. With a swift motion, he pulled a small device from his coat, a remote with a red button. "Say goodbye to the past," he sneered. Suddenly, the ground beneath them trembled. Lights flickered violently. A hidden trapdoor yawned open beneath Lisa and Ava's feet. Time seemed to freeze. They exchanged a glance, no words, just pure determination. And then they fell. The fall was endless. Cold air rushed past Lisa and Ava as they tumbled through darkness, hearts pounding like war drums. Then, with a harsh thud, they landed in a cavernous underground chamber, damp, shadowy, and silent except for their ragged breaths. Lisa's head spun, pain sharp behind her eyes. She pushed herself up, pulling Ava to her feet. The faint glow of a single, swinging bulb revealed iron chains bolted to the far wall. Victor's voice crackled from hidden speakers above, chilling and mocking. "Welcome to your new home. Comfortable? You'll be here a long time. No one's coming for you." Lisa scanned the room, searching for any sign of an exit. Nothing. Just cold stone walls and the heavy weight of despair. But then Ava's gaze caught a glint. A thin, nearly invisible wire stretched across the floor. Lisa's breath caught. That might be a trap or a way out. Suddenly, a low rumble shook the chamber. Dust fell from the ceiling. A deep, guttural growl echoed from the shadows. Something was coming. Lisa gripped Ava's hand tight. "We have to move. Now." As they crept toward the wire, a pair of glowing eyes emerged from the darkness. Slow, deliberate, hungry. Lisa froze. The eyes blinked. And then, a loud crash upstairs. Victor's voice sharper now. "You won't escape. Not this time." The creature lunged from the shadows. Not a beast, but a man. Ragged, wild-eyed, wielding a rusted pipe. His snarls cut through the stale air like a razor. Lisa and Ava didn't hesitate. Together, they dodged, weaved, fought for every breath and step. The wire on the floor, a barely visible lifeline to freedom. With a desperate leap, Lisa grabbed the wire and yanked it. A hidden door groaned open, a shaft of light piercing the darkness. "Go!" she shouted. They sprinted through the opening, the pipe crashing just behind them. The narrow tunnel twisted and turned, echoing their pounding footsteps. At last, a sliver of dawn seeped through a grate above. They pushed with all their might. The grate gave way. They were outside, breathing fresh air. They looked back at the prison of stone and shadow. But freedom was bittersweet. Victor's twisted game was over, but scars remained. 12 years lost, betrayal carved deep, and a family torn apart by secrets and lies. Lisa's journey was proof that resilience can survive even the darkest prison walls. But the question remains, what does justice truly mean when those we love betray us? Lessons learned. Trust is fragile, but rebuilding it starts with truth. Resilience isn't just enduring hardship. It's reclaiming your story. Sometimes the greatest battles are within, forgiveness and self-worth. And finally, Freedom is more than a place. It's a state of mind. What would you do if your entire world turned upside down? Could you find the strength to start over? Drop your thoughts below. And if this story gripped you like it did us, don't forget to subscribe for more true tales of betrayal, survival, and justice that will haunt you long after the screen goes dark. Because some stories don't just end, they echo